So a reminder of the grid. Michael Oliver in pole position, the truck repaired by Team Oliver after a collision with Craig Reed earlier on. Alongside him, Stephen Powell in number 3. Second row, Tom O'Rourke and John Bowler. Can he go one better than earlier? David Jenkins on row 3, looking for his second win of the day alongside Simon Reed. Stuart Oliver and Ryan Smith on row 4. Then Ricky Collins and Neil Yates completing the top 5 rows, although I suspect we'll see Neil start from the back. Behind them on the grid, we will have Bradley Smith and Craig Reed. They failed to finish race 2 yesterday, so watch for Bradley coming through in particular. And then in Division 2, we've got Jim Bennett and Simon Cole, Craig Evans and Adam Bintz, Paul Rivett and John Powell. Now, according to my grid sheet, John Powell's off from the front because he didn't finish race 2 in Division 2 yesterday, so he should be at the front of the grid. We'll wait and see if he's there for this 15-minute race. There's Michael Oliver on pole. Ryan Smith in behind his big rival of the last few years, David Jenkins. Well, as I said earlier, everyone is a big rival to Ryan Smith. Jim Bennett on the front of the grid there. There's Ricky Collett just making his way through, a bit late out of the assembly area. Yes, there is John Powell. He is there at the back of Division 2. Now, my grid sheet must be incorrect. Yeah, he's at the back of Division 2, so he must have not finished. Yes, he didn't finish yesterday's race, so he does move to the back. So Neil Yates at the back of everybody. The graphic was correct. It's my grid sheet that's incorrect there. Apologies for the confusion there. Not sure why Pointy said we were 50 minutes late, because at this moment in time we are not. I don't want to say any more than that to jinx it. I think Pointy was reading yesterday's timetable. On board with Ryan Smith. Looking out over the bonnet of the Daimler Freightliner. So riding on board with John Bowler. Thanks to Chris Clark for sorting our onboard cameras this weekend. And Richard Barwick in the touring cars as well, so thank you to them. Ricky Collett at the back of Division 1 here. Simon Cole and Jim Bennett at the front of Division 2, ready to rumble with the British Truck Racing Championship, race 4 of the weekend here on the Snetterton 300 circuits. Can Ryan Smith get back to winning ways? Is Paul Rivett in the blue and yellow, number 22, going to remain unbeaten in Division 2? Adam Bint nicely placed in the number 5. Neil Yates at the back. Michael Oliver and Stephen Powell on the front row of the grid. Will we see a second win of the season for Michael Oliver, a second win of his Division 1 career for the 6-time Division 2 champion Stephen Powell? We are about to find out over the next 15 minutes. The pace truck, the GT Tyres MAN, unleashes them. Waiting for the red lights to go out. Tension begins to mount. We're on board with Ryan Smith. This is certainly once again not going to be for the faint of heart at all. The power comes on, and here we go. It's the charge of the truck brigade down towards Rich's corner. Who's going to get the lead? Stephen Powell gets away well, so does Michael Oliver from pole position. Ryan Smith up on the outside. Tom O'Rourke leans on John Bowler. Smith going wide to try and get around David Jenkins, who's got the inside run on Bowler. To our right is one of the Reed brothers, couldn't tell which. It's the number 12 of Michael Oliver who has the lead. Charging up is Tom O'Rourke in third place, almost being pushed there by David Jenkins. Bowler's caught on the outside, gets it sideways, kicks up the dust. He's been sent wide by Simon Reed in the 89. Ryan Smith will get through as well in the number 1, so he's already made up at least one place as they make their way into Palmer. It's Oliver from Powell, O'Rourke, Jenkins, Reed, Smith. John Bowler's been shuffled back a bit down the order. He was stuck on the outside for the first couple of corners. Division 2 pack heads through. It's Michael Oliver who swings his way, and that's where he collided with Craig Reed in the previous race. There's Craig back in the pack. Stuart Oliver's not made the best of starts towards the back of Division 2, which is led by Simon Cole. He's made a good start in the number 41. He's your early Division 2 pace setter. Stuart Oliver makes a move on Craig Reed as they go through Hamilton. Reed a bit slow off the corner there. There's Neil Yates at the back of the field. And running wide there, Adam Bint and Paul Rivett. 2 of our Division 2 contenders skate wide onto the dirt. John Powell's going for the class lead. Now he started from the back. He's already into the lead of Division 2. Adam Bint's all over the place. He's sliding everywhere. Has he got a tyre going down or something, I wonder? Simon Cole's been shuffled back a bit. So has Craig Reed and Ricky Collett. Craig Reed Is he still suffering from a bit of damage from that collision earlier on? Because he's dropped to the back of Division 1 already. Michael Oliver leads from Stephen Powell. David Jenkins is up into third. Then it's Tom O'Rourke and Simon Reed. Ryan Smith has made up a couple of places already, and Jim Bennett in problems, the number 28. Is he pulling over there? No, he's rejoining. So something's happened in Division 2. I don't know whether there's some fluid on the track at Hamilton, but everybody seemed to slide wide. Michael Oliver's got the lead in the number 12 by quite a clear margin at the moment as well. There's Bradley Smith. Not a lot of progress from him yet from the back of Division 1. There's the battle for the Division 2 lead. John Powell ahead of Adam Bin. Third is Simon Cole. Then Paul Rivette's looking to keep up his unbeaten run. Then Craig Evans, and Craig Reed's in trouble again. He's slow to the back of Division 2. I suspect that 68 is heading for the pits again. Make their way out towards the conclusion of lap number 1. Michael Oliver leads by 1 second ahead of Stephen Powell. Wait to see if Craig Reed does pull into the pits here, the number 68. He's dropped right back to the tail of the Division 2 trucks. Yes, he's coming into the pits, so Craig Reed in trouble. There's Tom O'Rourke holding off Simon Reed for 4th place. The first 3 have got away slightly. Oliver, Powell and Jenkins are on board with Ryan Smith in P6. Chasing now Simon Reed out of Palmer. Still a bit of fluid on the camera lens there. I don't know whether that's rain or just a bit of water being kicked up by the trucks. At the outside of Simon Reed. I don't think he's going to get round there as Agostini. Trying to get the cut back on the exit. Ahead of them there is Tom O'Rourke, running well in the MV Commercial. MAN, the Scotsman. Now Smith gets the... that cutback did work at Agostini. At the inside at Hamilton, a deceptively tight left-hander, and he's through into P5. Next target is Tom O'Rourke. See the steam coming off David Jenkins' truck there. I would imagine that's from the water-cooled braking system. Chasing Stephen Powell. Now Ryan Smith getting into position to attack the MV Commercial and Freyhouse Trailers MAN of Tom O'Rourke. Had a win at Donington a couple of years ago, the Scotsman. Never been to a truck race until MV Commercial had a display at Convoy in the Park a few years ago. Tom ended up sponsoring the British Championship and subsequently competing in it. Stephen Powell going well, holding that 2nd place, the Brands Hatch local. And Ryan Smith having a go at Tom O'Rourke. What's their contact there through Nelson? I'm not sure, but he's got through. And now Simon Reed's going to try and go through as well at the bomb hole. Tricky to fit 2 trucks through there side by side. And they managed it. And Reed goes through into P5. There's John Bowler, back in 7th place. No need to look at who finishes 8th here because this race doesn't set the grid for anything else. Simon Reed trying to go round the outside of Murray's. That's never going to work. No, it isn't. Says, oh, what's happened to Stephen Powell? He's got wide. He was nearly heading into the pit lane there. He's lost 2nd place to David Jenkins coming out of Murray's there. So Ryan Smith up to 4th now. Can he hunt down our top 3? Wait for Division 2 to come through. It should be John Powell still at the head of their pack. Yes, there he is, the blue and red DAF. Length of the Senna straights behind Ricky Collett almost now. This is the battle for 2nd. There's Paul Rivette on the outside of Adam Bin. Craig Evans tucked in behind them. They've dropped Simon Cole. And Bin's holding the inside here, going into Riches. The Volvo and the MAN together. And here comes Craig Evans. Look at this, diving up the inside. It's a brave move by Craig Evans, the number 10. Terrific fight here for 2nd in Division 2. Paul Rivette's unbeaten run could be under threat here. To the inside goes Evans. He'll take the place away on the hairpin. Nicely done by Craig Evans in the number 10, but they're losing time all the time to John Powell. Leads the group by over 2.5 seconds. There he is. DAF, Volvo, MAN. It's an MAN that leads overall. Michael Oliver. MAN trucks in the top 3 places in Division 1 ahead of Ryan Smith in the Daimler. Simon Reed, the first of the Avicos. Adam Bin back up the inside, retakes 2nd in Division 2 from Craig Evans into the left-hander at Agostini. Slippery surface flag I notice out there, so maybe there was some fluid down at Hamilton, I was right. Now, here comes David Jenkins. He's getting ready to attack race leader Michael Oliver. He wants a second win. Wants to close the gap on Ryan Smith and Stuart Oliver at the top of the championship. Nearest challengers Lewis Bradley Smith. He's further back in 9th. Ryan Smith is now up into P3. He's got ahead of Stephen Powell as a result of Powell losing that momentum after running wide out of Murray's last time through. Tom O'Rourke under fire from John Bowler, the two MANs together. Stuart Oliver in behind them. He's had a quiet race so far, Stuart Oliver, stuck in the midfield. Not the easiest circuit to overtake on is Snetterton in a truck. Doesn't bother Ryan Smith, though. Chasing now David Jenkins, who in turn is closing on Michael Oliver. Here's the battle in Division 2. Lead gap is half a second. New fastest lap for David Jenkins, and Vint makes a bit of a mistake there at the bomb hole. We saw the truck snap sideways briefly. Craig Evans trying to retake it. Simon Cole sideways there as well. He always does through the bomb hole. Neil Yates next in the order, then Jim Bennett. Craig Reed out of the race, sadly. Here comes Jenkins on the outside for the hairpin. He's trying to do the cutback. He'll be watching Ryan Smith in his mirrors earlier on, I think. Up towards Palmer. Is he going to make a move there? No, there won't be room on the inside for Palmer, surely, of Michael Oliver. Oliver Jr. still holds the lead. He's got Jenkins and Ryan Smith closing him down now. Up towards the left-hander at Agostini. Saw Jenkins take the lead here earlier on from Reed. Craig Evans on the outside of the hairpin. That's going to allow Paul Rivette to attack. These three almost on top of each other. Remarkable in Division 2. Michael Oliver leads through Hamilton. Jenkins going to have to think about Ryan Smith being on his tail shortly as well. We're with him. He's 7-time champion. His truck's, of course, electronically limited to 100 miles an hour. We'll certainly be doing 100 miles an hour down the Bentley Straights coming up. Vince in second, Division 2, and Paul Rivette has got through for third, ahead of Craig Evans. Now they're going to start to go after John Bowler in the number 6, who has had a disappointing weekend so far. Craig Evans, I think, is slowing down there. I think Evans might be in trouble. Bit sideways again, he always does that. Well, that truck isn't handling too well in this one anyway. It's been sliding all over the place since the race started. Yeah, they've definitely dropped... well, Paul Rivette isn't going to gain any traction there. Cutting onto the grass, I told you, he's be picking for track limits if he does that too often. There are the leaders in Division 1. Simon Reed now ahead of Stephen Powell up into P4 as well. Must have done that on the Bentley Straight, I think. Ryan Smith to the outside on David Jenkins. No, you don't, says Jenks. Yes, I do, says Ryan Smith. No, you don't, says David Jenkins back again. OK, I'll go to the outside down the centre straight, says Ryan Smith, and I'll overtake you here. Still side by side. Can he get the move done before the end of the straight? I don't think he's going to. David Jenkins hangs on to the place. This is allowing Michael Oliver to escape again at the front of the field. Out to the hairpin. Can he get the inside line away here? He's thinking about it, Ryan Smith. No, thinks better of it. He's not close enough. Through the Wilson hairpin. No longer with the scary tree on the outside. That's has sadly disappeared now. Adam Bint leading on Paul Rivette. Excuse me, says Adam Bint. No, I won't, says Paul Rivette. I thought they were going to hit the pit wall then. That was close. Lucky not to burst a tyre there with that contact on the front of Rivette's truck. Goodness me. Back on board with Ryan Smith. He still hasn't got alongside David Jenkins. They're keeping Michael Oliver in their sights as well. 4 minutes of this race to go. This is great stuff. Paul Rivette up towards the hairpin. He's still going. He's still ahead of Adam Bint, who lunges down the inside. Well, I thought that was going to end in disaster, but thankfully cooler heads prevailed. Oh, the leader's gone wide. Michael Oliver onto the grass, and at the same time, Ryan Smith on the inside. Yeah, it's getting slippery out there again. on that part of the circuit through the infield loop, because Smith is now in second place, and surely it's only a matter of time before he passes Michael Oliver. Oliver's lost momentum as a result of running wide there. Ryan Smith goes to goes to the right. Michael Oliver says, "Oh no, you're not." Squeezes him towards the grass, moves back across. And this is like the Caterhams that were here a few weeks ago, weaving about like this. Smith's got P2. Michael Oliver's having none of him trying to take the lead. 3 minutes left. It's brilliant stuff for the lead of Division 1. Division 2 still led by John Powell because everybody else is too busy squabbling with each other for second place. Through the bomb hole. Smith will try at Coram, he won't get through there. Simon Reed on his own in fourth. He's pulled away from Stephen Powell now. Tom O'Rourke still sixth ahead of Stuart Oliver. This is the battle further back. There's John Bowler in P8. Bradley Smith in P9. A quiet race for Bradley and for Stuart Oliver this time. It's all about these three in Division 1. I think it's going to be last lap this time. Can they get past Michael Oliver? Over the line they go. Black and white flag being shown for Paul Rivette for exceeding track limits. He gets a warning. We saw him cut a corner a bit earlier on at Hoggies. That'll be why. There's Craig Evans. He's closing back up on Adam Binton now. Paul Rivette has dropped these two into the hairpin for what I think will be the last time. Ryan Smith won't get the inside line away there. It's a great defensive drive by Michael Oliver. Is Ryan Smith going to make it 3 for the weekend? Can he take win number 14 of the season? David Jenkins is in position to capitalise if these two should tangle. They are loving this, these three. Up the outside comes Ryan Smith. He leans on Michael Oliver. He's alongside down the straight. They clash wheels together. Oh, it's like Senna and Nigel Mansell in that Spanish Grand Prix all those years ago in the 90s. And Michael Oliver continues to hold the lead. Here comes Jenkins now getting aboard. It's like a 12-wheel truck heading up towards Hamilton. Michael Oliver's got to be so careful on the brakes. He holds it together in the GT Tyres MAN. Up to Hoggies. Ryan Smith right on his bumper now. Ryan's getting impatient here. He knows this is probably the last lap. Oh, he gives him the bumper. That was more like stock car racing than truck racing from Ryan Smith. He'll try again onto the Bentley straight. He pulls alongside again. Michael Oliver leaves him no room at all. Smith's on the grass. They're still side by side. David Jenkins could get both of them here. They're never going to go 3 wide into Brundle. That's never going to work in trucks. Jenkins thinks better of it. Oliver's got the inside for Brundle, but Smith will have the inside for Nelson. Can he get the truck stopped in time? They both go out wide. Smith's got it. Goodness me. And Jenkins is going to go through as well. Michael Oliver frustrated there. You can see it as Smith clears off into the lead. But was he too far over on the grass as he took the lead there? A controversial move from Ryan Smith. Reed fourth, Powell there in 5th place. But here they come then. There's 13 seconds on the clock now. Will they get one more lap? We'll wait and see if the checkered flag goes out this time. It's going to be close as they come to the line on whether they're going to get another lap in. Well, here they come. There's no checkered flag. We are going to get one more lap. The clock counted down to 0. Yeah, he was 1 second too early, Ryan Smith, as he crossed the line. So we will get one more lap out of this. This is Division 2, and Paul Rivette will be welcoming not seeing the checkered flag, because he's got another lap to try and get past John Powell and make it 4 out of 4. Goodness me. Going round to start the final lap in Division 2 then. Here comes Paul Rivette. He has a look down the straight. They move towards the pit wall. There's some real needle in this race. Certainly the most action-packed truck race we've had so far this weekend at Snetterton. Can Paul Rivette get ahead of John Powell in the DAF? The oldest truck on the grid, John Powell's DAF. Swing it through the hairpin. Rivette tries to get the cut back. Bint still holding off Evans for 3rd. See there Bradley Smith still holding off Ricky Collett as well. There's Michael Oliver. still chasing David Jenkins. Ryan Smith is going clear now. It's going to be win number 3 for him this weekend. But did he take the lead on the grass down the Bentley Straight? Powell holds the inside, Rivette on the outside, side by side into Agostini. We've been here before. And they lean on each other on the exit. Rivette on the grass. You're not getting past me, says John Powell. And then again, Michael Oliver been saying that most of the race to Ryan Smith. Here is Ryan through the bomb hole. It's going to be checkered flag this time. It's coming up on Jim Bennett. He always seems to meet Jim Bennett on the last corner of every race. That happened twice yesterday. Paul Rivette tries again, bash into the side of John Powell briefly there. Smith's got past Bennett, Seth Atkinson. And here he comes up to the line. Win number 3 for Ryan Smith this weekend at Snetterton. It's going to be win number 14 for the season. Extends his championship lead. Flying Ryan wins it again. Jenkins in second. And Michael Oliver only just holding back Simon Reed for 3rd. Meanwhile, what about Division 2? Can John Powell hang on? Disappointing weekend so far. Can he end Paul Rivette's unbeaten run here at Snetterton? Rivette trying. He's really trying. You can see a little chunk bitten out of his front bumper. He throws it sideways through the bomb hole. What can he do? Into Murray's for the last time. Adam Bint's holding off Craig Evans. He's on the bumper there as they come through. Towards the left at Murray's, onto the brakes. Can John Powell hold it as they come down the straight? Has the MAN got more power? They're going to be side by side, surely, by the finish line. It's a long run up towards the line here at Snetterton. John Powell's going to have to move to defend, I think. Rivette up the outside. They're going to finish side by side. It's a photo finish. Who gets there? We'll go to the timing screen. John Powell got it by 0.023 of a second. What a superb race. John Powell picks up his first Division 2 win of the weekend by 23/1000ths of a second. And well, that race at the front with Division 1, that was brutal. Red flag comes out to bring the trucks into Parc Fermé. It's going to be an interesting Parc Fermé, and hopefully we can hear from all the top 3 down there, Smith, Jenkins and Michael Oliver. That was a brilliant defensive drive for most of the way there. Ryan Smith using some tough tactics to get past. He wins by just under 3 seconds ahead of David Jenkins. Smith gets the fastest lap as well. Michael Oliver in 3rd ahead of Simon Reed. And Stephen Powell, Stuart Oliver, Tom O'Rourke, John Bowler, Bradley Smith and Ricky Collick completing the top 10 in Division 1. John Powell just beat Paul Rivette in a photo finish for the Division 2 win. His unbeaten run comes to an end. And Adam Bint's holding off Craig Evans all the way. The other finishers, Simon Cole, Neil Yates and Jim Bennett. We lost Craig Reed into retirement on the first lap.